Welcome to Somatic Shadow Work for Sleep, a meditation series that recalibrates the thoughts, actions, and habits that govern your daily life. Your guide in these meditations is Seth Cherepak, author of Awaken Your Shadow and founder of somatic axiology. These meditations speak to your dominant form of intelligence, known by cognitive neuroscience as value intelligence. Value intelligence, or VQ, operates upstream of your intellectual intelligence, IQ, and your emotional intelligence, EQ. VQ is the decentralized intelligence sprawling throughout your entire being, like an underground root system feeding every branch above it and the fruit it bears. This is how somatic axiology succeeds in delivering on the promises made by the schools of New Age energy healing, which address mainly your EQ, and conventional methods like positive affirmations and mindset programs, which address mainly your IQ. Somatic axiology speaks to your VQ. Listen to this in a place where your attention is free to shift from the worries and cares of the external world into the rich architecture of your internal world, where your transformation begins. In this episode, Activating Your Secure Self, Seth guides you on a journey into the part of you that learned to brace, to scan, to stand guard through every quiet moment, waiting for a danger that left long ago. This is your first step toward resting on solid ground, instead of keeping watch over a war that has already ended.
We will begin our journey with 4 deep breaths. Breathe in quickly, feeling your belly expand. Hold as your body begins to relax and your mind begins its descent. Breathe out, feeling your body relax and your mind descending deeper. Breathe in again, feeling your belly expand more and more, and hold. Breathe out slowly as your body relaxes more and more and your mind descends deeper and deeper. Breathe in again, your belly expanding more and more and more. Hold. Now begin the slow release, your body relaxing more and more, your mind descending deeper and deeper and deeper. Breathe in a final time, your belly expanding fully. Hold. Now breathe slowly out, your body relaxing completely, your mind descending deeper and deeper and deeper, all the way to the deepest part, the part beyond your thoughts, beyond your feelings, and beyond your conscious reach. You are now completely relaxed and at peace. It's late, and your body is in bed, but you are not. You are somewhere else. You are in tomorrow. You are in the day after tomorrow. You are in the meeting that has not happened yet. You are in the conversation that may never happen at all. You left the room hours ago, and the body, the tired, aching, holding on body, is lying here without you. This is not self-help. This is somatic shadow work, not a meditation to calm your mind, not a routine to optimize your sleep. Somatic shadow work is the descent beneath the planning, beneath the strategy, beneath the endlessly running calculation, into the body of a man who has not let go of the wheel in 20 years. So let us go there slowly. Start with your lower back. Right now, as you lie there listening, feel it. That dull, low ache that has been your companion for years. That faint hardness in the muscles along your spine that even sleep does not undo. You have called it many things. A bad mattress. A long day at the desk. Getting older. You have not called it what it is. Armor. That is armor. Plates of held muscle stacked along your spine, fused together by years of bracing for an impact that has not yet arrived. Your body has been preparing to absorb something for decades. It does not know what. It does not need to know what. It only knows that the impact is coming and that it must be ready. Now move your attention to your diaphragm, the wide flat muscle just beneath your ribs, the one that was designed to rise and fall like a gentle tide, all day, all night, without effort. Feel it. Is it moving? Or is it locked? Because for most men listening to me right now, the diaphragm is locked. A small, tight cage of muscle just under the ribs, refusing to soften, refusing to release. You breathe up high, in the chest, in the throat, in the small territory above the lock. Shallow, quick, the breath of a man on a treadmill that does not stop. You have been breathing like this for so long that this shallow, locked breath has become normal to you. You do not even feel the cage anymore. You only feel the slight, constant pressure beneath your ribs, and the dim sense that you cannot quite take a full breath without yawning, or sighing, or holding your shoulders up around your ears. Now your eyes, even in the dark, even with the lids closed, even now, feel them. There is a tightness behind them, a faint forward pressure, a subtle low-grade focus that does not turn off. The eyes of a man still scanning, still watching, still on duty, even now lying in the dark of his own bedroom. Some part of him cannot quite stand down. This is the body of a man in armor, and the armor has a name. Bracing. You have braced your whole adult life. You did not call it bracing. You called it being prepared. You called it being responsible. You called it being a man who has his life together. You are the one with the plan. You are the one with the backup plan. You are the one who runs the scenarios in his head so often that disasters lose their teeth before they ever reach the door. You think 6 steps ahead. You see what others miss. You catch the small detail in the contract that everyone else skimmed past. The world rewards you for this generously. Your career, your reputation, your bank account, the respect of the people who count on you, all of it has been built on this engine. This forward-leaning, never quite resting, always scanning engine in your chest and your skull and your spine, and so you cannot quite imagine turning it off. You believe the engine is what makes you good at your life. And here is where the truth gets uncomfortable. You are good at your life. That part is real. You are competent. You are smart. You have earned what you have. No one is telling you that you have not. But the witness sitting quietly behind your eyes can see something more precise. You are not high-performing because you are gifted. You are high-performing because you are terrified. Read that again in your body. You are high-performing because you are terrified. Not in some dramatic panic attack way. Not in the obvious shaking, sweating, gasping way. Quietly, structurally, beneath the surface of your daily life. A low electric vigilance that never powers down. A hum beneath the diaphragm that says, "Do not let go of the wheel." And your gifts have grown around that terror like a tree growing around an old wire fence. The wood and the wire have fused. You cannot tell anymore where the talent ends and the bracing begins. And so the idea of letting go feels like the idea of dying. Because to you, the wheel is everything. The wheel is what built this life. The wheel is what protects this life. The wheel is what stands between you and the catastrophe you have been outrunning since you were a boy. And you have never been told what is on the other side of releasing it. Look at your mind tonight. Not the body now. The mind. Where is it? It is not in this room. It is 48 hours into the future, solving a problem that has not happened yet, rehearsing the email you have not sent, rehearsing the answer to the question your boss has not asked, rehearsing the line you will need if a client pushes back on Wednesday. You are managing a future that is not even real yet. You are stress testing scenarios that may never occur. You are running simulations in your head at 1 a.m. of conversations that exist only inside your own skull. And you call this thinking ahead. You call this being on top of things. You call this what successful men do. But notice what it is actually doing to your body. Every imagined problem, every rehearsed conflict, every micro-disaster you wargame in advance sends another small surge of stress hormones into your system. Your nervous system does not know that the meeting is imaginary. Your nervous system reacts to the imagined meeting, the same way it would react to the real one, adrenaline, cortisol, the same tightening in the chest, the same lock in the diaphragm, the same low brace in the muscles along your spine. You are stressing yourself with futures that do not exist. Night after night, year after year, and then you wonder why you cannot sleep. You wonder why your back hurts. You wonder why your shoulders feel like stone. You wonder why your eyes will not soften even in the dark. You wonder why a glass of wine no longer takes the edge off. You wonder why the screen, the scroll, the second drink, the late night snack, the porn, the workout, the supplement, none of it quite reaches the thing inside you that will not put the wheel down. And here is the cruel little secret of the high-performing man. You do not actually want to put the wheel down. Not really, because somewhere deep in the body, deep in the wiring laid down before you had words, you believe that the wheel is the only thing standing between you and a catastrophe you have never been able to fully name. You do not know what the catastrophe is. You only know that it is real. You feel its outline in the tightness of your lower back. You feel its silhouette behind your eyes. You feel it humming beneath your diaphragm at 1 a.m. when the world has stopped distracting you. Something terrible is just out of frame, and the wheel is what keeps it out there. So you grip, and you grip, and you grip, and tonight in this honest dark, your hands are exhausted. Your back is exhausted. Your diaphragm is exhausted. Your eyes are exhausted from scanning a horizon that never produces the storm. Do not let go yet. I am not going to ask you to release the wheel in the first 5 minutes of this episode. That would be cruel. The grip is decades old. It deserves to be understood before it is loosened. So stay here with me. Hands on the wheel. Back in armor. Diaphragm in its cage. Mind 2 days into the future. And the witness, the quiet observer behind all of it, finally awake. Because tonight, for the first time, we are going to find out who the boy in this body was actually afraid of, and what he was promised would happen if he ever, even for 1 minute, loosened his grip. So let us go back before the meetings, back before the spreadsheets, back before the title on the door and the salary that made your parents nod with quiet pride, back to the small body of the boy you used to be, because the wheel you cannot put down tonight was first placed in your hands a long time ago by a child too small to refuse it. Picture the house you grew up in, not the house in the photographs, not the version you describe at dinner parties, the real house, the one where the rules changed without notice. Every house has weather. But in your house, the weather did not follow a season. The same behavior was praised on Tuesday and punished on Thursday. The same joke that earned a laugh in the morning earned a cold stare by dinner. The same question that was welcome on one car ride was the trigger for an argument on the next. You could not predict it from the outside. And so you went inside. You went inside the data. This is the birth of the Scrutinizer, the boy who could no longer trust the obvious. The boy who learned very early that words lied, that smiles lied, that a calm voice could carry a coming storm if you knew how to listen. So you became a student of signal, not language. Signal. The small data beneath the surface, the micro shift in a parent's jaw before they spoke, the slight pause between the question and the answer, the half-second hesitation that meant the next sentence was not going to be the kind one. You learned to read the sound of a car door closing. You learned the difference between a door shut by a tired person and a door shut by an angry one. You learned the difference between the door of a parent who had a good day and the door of a parent who would now spend the evening looking for someone to blame for the bad one. You learned to read the way a key turned in a lock. A fast key, a slow key. A key turned twice as if the lock had become uncertain. You learned to read footsteps in the hallway. Heavy ones, light ones. Footsteps that paused at your door for a second too long. You learned to read the silence at the dinner table, the cough that meant tension was coming. The sigh that meant tension had already arrived. The clearing of a throat that meant someone was about to say something to you and that you should already be sorry for it. This was not curiosity. This was surveillance for survival. A small boy turning himself into a radar dish, pointed at the unstable sky of his own home, desperate to detect the next storm before it broke. And here is what no one ever told you. A boy who can read a house that well is no longer a child. He is an analyst. A small, brilliant, exhausted analyst running threat assessments inside a body that should still have been playing in the dirt. The other boys in your neighborhood, the ones who lived in houses with stable weather, did not have to do this work. They could afford to be loud. They could afford to be sudden. They could afford to slam a door without first calculating who would be home and what mood they would be in. You could not afford any of that. You paid attention while other boys were learning the names of dinosaurs and the rules of small games. You were learning the operating system of unpredictable adults. You were learning facial muscles. You were learning vocal tone. You were learning the difference between a real smile and the kind of smile that arrived just before something cruel. And the more accurate your reading became, the more you came to believe one thing. Surprises were dangerous. Surprises were the moments you had failed. A surprise meant you had missed a signal. A surprise meant you had not been paying close enough attention. A surprise meant the storm had reached the house before you could prepare for it. And the storm always hit hardest when you were unprepared. So you made a vow. You did not make it with words. Most of the deepest vows are not made with words. You made it in the body, in the lower back that learned to brace, in the diaphragm that learned to lock, in the eyes that learned to never fully soften, even at night. And the vow went something like this: I will never be surprised again. If I can predict it, I can prevent it. If I can predict it, I can prevent it. This is the safety contract. The deepest contract of the insecure self. A small boy promising the universe that he would never again be caught off guard, in exchange for the right to survive the next year of his childhood. And the universe, of course, said nothing, but the boy heard yes. He heard yes because every time he scanned, every time he predicted, every time he saw the storm coming 3 steps ahead, he survived a little easier. The safety contract worked. That is what made it so dangerous. It worked. He braced. He predicted. He pre-managed. And in a chaotic house, that meant he ate the meal, finished the homework, kept his room in order, got the grades. And the adults in his life began to notice. He was the responsible one. He was the one who could be trusted with the small task. He was the one who never needed to be reminded. He was, in the language of grown-ups, mature for his age. What they called maturity was vigilance. What they called responsibility was bracing. What they called intelligence was a small boy mapping the unstable landscape of his own home with the only tool he had, his own nervous system. But the praise reinforced the contract. Every time he was called mature, the bracing grew stronger. Every time he was called responsible, the wheel pressed deeper into his small hands. Every time he was called gifted, advanced, ahead of his age, the Scrutinizer grew another year. And so slowly, without anyone noticing, the boy disappeared into the analyst. The part of him that wanted to be silly, the part that wanted to be soft, the part that wanted to lie in the grass and watch clouds without producing anything, the part that wanted to be a child, was filed away. Carefully, with the precision of a small analyst who could not afford to leave anything on the table, filed under future risk, filed under what we cannot afford right now, filed under dangerous noise. And in its place, the role moved in: the Scrutinizer, the strategist, the boy who never misses a detail. You did not choose that role. You were conscripted into it. by a house that needed you to grow up too fast, by weather you could not predict, by adults who could not regulate themselves and so handed the job silently to the smallest competent person in the room. And now, decades later, that same small analyst is still on duty. He is the one who runs the simulations at 1 a.m. He is the one who war games the meeting on Wednesday. He is the one who reads tone in a text the way he once read tone in a door slam. He is the one whose vow, made in a small body in a volatile house, is still being honored by the grown man who has long since left that house behind. If I can predict it, I can prevent it. That is the engine humming beneath your spine tonight. That is the operating system of your career. That is the architecture of your relationships. That is the reason you cannot sleep. And the witness sitting quietly behind your eyes can see it now. The grown man you have become is not running a life. He is running a contract drafted by a child in a war he should never have had to fight. A contract that promised safety in exchange for stillness, belonging in exchange for vigilance, survival in exchange for the small, unspoken right to ever truly relax. And the boy who signed it is still in there, still scanning, still predicting, still bracing for the next slammed door, and he is so tired. You can feel him tonight, can't you? That low ache beneath your ribs, that subtle pressure behind your eyes, that hum in the lower back that does not belong to any bad mattress. That is him. The small scrutinizer, still on watch, still honoring a contract that should have expired 30 years ago. And tonight, in the honest dark, he is finally close enough to the surface to be seen. So come back to now, back to the man in the dark room, back to the bed, back to the body still wearing the armor a small boy welded onto it 30 years ago. Because the boy in the volatile house grew up. He left the house. He built a life of his own. He chose his own city, his own career, his own people. But he carried the safety contract with him. He carried it into every room he walked into for the rest of his life. And tonight we are going to look at exactly what he has done with it. Start with the obvious. The scrutinizer never went off duty. The boy at the dinner table reading the small twitch in his father's jaw is the same man now reading the small twitch in his client's email. The boy who learned to interpret a slammed car door is the same man now interpreting his wife's pause before she answers. The boy who scanned the hallway for footsteps is the same man now scanning the financial news at 6 a.m. before he is fully awake. He calls it being informed. He calls it being responsible. He calls it the work of an adult man with adult obligations. The witness sees something more precise. It is the same radar, the same boy, the same dish pointed at a different sky, and the dish has not been turned off in his entire conscious life. Look at his vacations. He took the trip he was supposed to take. The beach, the cabin, the destination he booked for the family because the calendar required it. And he sat there on the sand, by the lake, on the balcony of the rented house, phone in hand, watching the market, watching the inbox, watching the weather of his career while the actual weather sat around him ignored. His wife noticed. His children noticed. He noticed too. He just didn't know how to stop. Because to him, even on vacation, the dish cannot be allowed to drift. Even on a beach, the storm could be forming somewhere just over the horizon. And the moment he stops watching is the moment it will land on his unprepared head. This is what the safety contract has done to his rest. He has not rested in 20 years. He has only worked and then sat down somewhere prettier to keep working in a smaller, quieter way. Look at his dinners. He sits across from someone he loves. A wife, a friend, a son who has grown into a man and finally wants to talk like one. And his body is at the table, but his attention is split into 3 streams. One stream is listening. One stream is rehearsing what to say next. And one stream, the deepest one, is monitoring everything that might come at him later that night. The email he has not answered, the meeting tomorrow morning, the slow ache in his chest he has not had time to investigate. He is in 3 places at once. None of them is the table, and the person across from him can feel it. They cannot name it. They do not have the language we are using tonight. But they feel that something in him is not quite here with them. That his eyes are warm but slightly elsewhere, that a part of him they have always longed to reach is still on duty, patrolling a perimeter they cannot see. Look at his intimacy. This is the hardest one, because intimacy is the one room in his life where bracing cannot stay hidden. Real intimacy asks the body to soften. Real intimacy asks the eyes to lose their focus. Real intimacy asks the diaphragm to release. Real intimacy asks the small scrutinizer to step away from the radar even for a moment and let himself be seen. And he cannot. He shows up. He performs. He does the choreography of closeness. But somewhere just beneath the surface of every embrace, the dish is still turning. He is monitoring her mood. He is monitoring his own performance. He is monitoring the silence between sentences, calculating whether it means peace or coming weather. And the part of him that was meant to dissolve into another human being does not dissolve. It hovers It supervises. This is the great quiet grief of the high-performing man. He has built a life full of love, and he cannot let any of it actually touch him. Because to be touched fully, he would have to put down the wheel. And we have already established what putting down the wheel feels like to him. It feels like dying. Now look at his nights. Because this is where the bracing reflex collects its full bill. The day ends, the lights go down, the world quiets. And the scrutinizer, who has been on duty all day, encounters a problem. There is nothing left to scan, no emails arriving, no calls coming in, no clients tapping their feet, no micro expressions to read. The radar dish is still spinning, but the sky has gone empty. And an empty sky to a nervous system trained on threat is unbearable. So he gives it something to scan. He picks up the phone. He calls it winding down. He calls it staying informed. He calls it just checking one more thing before bed. And he reaches into the great glowing library of human catastrophe, and he loads the dish with fresh threats. Wars, markets, politics, lawsuits, stories of people who lost everything, stories of failure dressed up as cautionary tales. He scrolls, and the dish goes back to work. And here is the secret he has not let himself name. This is not information. This is sedation, predictive sedation, a drug specifically designed for nervous systems like his. Because the bracing reflex needs threat in order to feel justified. A radar dish in an empty sky feels insane. A radar dish in a sky full of distant storms feels validated. So he keeps the sky full of storms. He fills it with headlines. He fills it with portfolios he can refresh at midnight. He fills it with news commentators arguing about disasters that will not arrive in his actual life for a single second. And his nervous system says, yes, this is what we are for. This is why we exist. This is why we must never let go of the wheel. And he scrolls himself to sleep. Or to almost sleep, to the strange, exhausted unconsciousness that men like you mistake for rest. And in the morning, the dish is already turning before his eyes are fully open. The phone is in his hand before his feet hit the floor. The sky is being checked before his lungs have taken their first full breath. This is what the boy in the volatile house grew up into. A man on permanent shift, in a counterfeit kingdom of certainty, hoping that if he watches hard enough, the universe will eventually agree never to surprise him again. And here is the price he has paid for that hope. A small life. Not in dollars, not in achievements, not in the metrics by which the world measures him, By those metrics, his life looks large. But notice the shape of it. He only takes the risks he can already calculate. He only loves the people he believes he can manage. He only enters the rooms whose temperature he can predict. He only commits to the futures whose worst-case scenarios he has already war-gamed. He has built an enormous life, but every wall of it was built to keep surprise out. And surprise is where life actually happens. The unrepeatable moment, the unexpected friendship, the opportunity that arrives sideways and demands an answer before the spreadsheet is ready, the love that asks more of you than you knew you had, the grief that comes through the door without knocking, the strange, holy, ungovernable real of being alive. All of it lives on the other side of the fence he has built. He looks at it through the slats. He admires it from a safe distance. He calls other people brave for stepping into it. And he stays in the kingdom of certainty, polished, predictable, quietly suffocating. This is what the safety contract has cost him. He kept the promise he made as a boy. He has, to a remarkable degree, not been surprised. And in keeping that promise, he has missed his own life. He traded the ungovernable soul for a guarantee. He traded the wide, dangerous, glorious uncertainty of being a sovereign man for the small, dim safety of being a man who is always one step ahead of the storm. And the worst part is, the storm never even comes. Not the catastrophic one the boy braced for. Most of the storms he prepared his whole life to survive never materialized. He spent decades fortifying a house against earthquakes that never struck. And now in midlife, with the fortifications complete, he is exhausted from the construction and aware in some quiet, devastating way that he forgot to live inside the house. This is the counterfeit peace of the insecure self. Not silence, not stillness, not the deep, unguarded rest of a man who knows he is held, just the absence of surprise, bought at the price of presence, maintained by a small scrutinizer who is dying of fatigue inside the body of a successful man. And tonight, in the honest dark, the bill for that peace has finally come due. So let us begin the work. Not the thinking, the work. Because the witness has shown you the house you grew up in. The witness has shown you the contract you signed in a small body. The witness has shown you the cost it has charged you in the body of the man you are tonight. And seeing is not enough. You have seen yourself before. You have read the books. You have done the personality tests. You have understood your patterns in the language of psychology, productivity, and trauma. And nothing has fundamentally changed. Because the safety contract was not signed in your mind. It was signed in your body, in the lower back that learned to brace. in the diaphragm that learned to lock, in the eyes that learned to never fully soften, in the nervous system of a small analyst running threat assessments in the only home he had, and a contract signed in the body can only be rewritten in the body. So tonight we are not going to rewrite a belief. We are going to perform an initiation, and the initiation is almost insultingly simple and almost impossibly hard. Because what I am about to ask you to do is the one thing the Scrutinizer has spent your entire life avoiding. I am going to ask you to put down the wheel, not forever, not for a week, not even for an hour, for 3 minutes. That is all. And if 3 minutes feels too long, we will begin with 1. This is the protocol. You are going to lie in this bed, or sit in your chair, wherever you are, and you are going to do nothing. The phone goes face down, out of reach. The second screen behind the first screen turns off. The mental simulations are not entertained. The wargaming of tomorrow's meeting is not engaged. For 3 minutes, the radar goes off. And here is what is going to happen. Within seconds, the heat will rise. You will feel the first wave hit the chest, a tightening, a pressure beneath the sternum. The diaphragm, which has been locked all day, will protest its sudden lack of orders. The lower back will throb. The shoulders will rise. The eyes, even closed, will dart behind their lids. And the mind will begin its desperate broadcast. It will offer you a brilliant idea you must capture right now or lose forever. It will remind you of an email you forgot to send. It will surface a worry you had not even realized you were carrying. It will throw threats onto the empty sky as fast as it can manufacture them. Because the dish is starving, the dish cannot bear an empty sky. The dish would rather invent storms than stand down, and the hand will start to drift toward the phone, not because you decided to reach for it. The hand will move on its own, driven by a current decades older than your conscious will. This is the moment. This is the entire initiation compressed into a few unbearable seconds. And here is what you must understand before you walk into it. That heat is not danger. That panic is not a warning that the catastrophe is finally arriving. That screaming in your nervous system is not the universe telling you to grip harder. It is withdrawal. You are detoxing from a lifetime of bracing. For decades, you sedated this exact feeling. Every time the heat began to rise, you reached for the wheel. You opened the laptop. You checked the market. You scrolled the news. You ran the simulation one more time. You took on one more responsibility you did not actually have time for. and the heat went down, and the safety contract was renewed for another day. So tonight, when you sit in the silence and refuse the wheel, you are refusing the drug for the first time. And the body does what any system does when the drug is withheld. It panics. It rebels. It tells you with absolute conviction that you are about to lose everything. You are not. You are withdrawing from a master you have served since you were 6 years old. So you stay in the heat. You do not pick up the phone. You do not run the simulation. You do not solve tomorrow at 1 in the morning. You do not give the dish a sky to scan. You let it spin in the dark, finding nothing. And here is where the body begins to remember. Feel your back against the mattress. Feel the bed beneath you. Feel the simple, unromantic fact that gravity is holding you. You do not have to hold the bed up. The bed is holding you. This is not a metaphor. This is the truth your body has been ignoring for 30 years. You are being held right now by the bed, by the floor beneath the bed, by the earth beneath the floor. You have spent decades bracing as if the ground might give out. The ground has never given out. The ground is and has always been holding you. Now your breath. The diaphragm has been locked all day. You will not unlock it by force. The scrutinizer cannot pry it open with strategy. You will unlock it by trust. Try this. A slow breath in through the nose. Not deep. Not dramatic. Just slightly longer than the breath you have been taking. Then a long, soft exhale through the mouth. Longer than the inhale. A breath that says, I am letting something out. Inhale a little, exhale longer, and then again. You are not trying to fix anything. You are not trying to relax. The scrutinizer hears the word relax and stiffens immediately. He does not trust it. He has been told to relax his whole life by people who did not understand what he was holding. So we will not use that word. We will say something else. You are giving the dish permission to scan one thing only. The breath leaving your body. That is its sky now. For 3 minutes. That is the entire perimeter it has to patrol. And every long, soft exhale is the radar finding nothing dangerous. Nothing to react to. Nothing to brace against. Just one breath leaving the body in the dark. And then another. And then another. The small scrutinizer in your chest is watching. He is suspicious. He is not convinced. He has been at this post for 30 years, and he does not believe the threat has passed. That is fine. He does not have to believe yet. He only has to witness. He has to witness that the dish has been turned off for 3 minutes, and the catastrophe did not arrive. He has to witness that the diaphragm has loosened a 1/4 inch, and nothing terrible has happened. He has to witness that the lower back has softened just enough to feel the bed beneath it, and the world has continued to spin. This is the data he has been starving for his whole life. Not philosophy, not affirmation, not someone telling him he is safe. Direct embodied evidence that he can stand down for 3 minutes and nothing collapses. And every minute you remain in that stillness without reaching for the wheel, the boy in your body collects another piece of evidence that the world has changed since he signed the contract, that the volatile house is no longer the climate, that the slammed door is no longer coming, that the surprise the boy braced for is not in the room anymore. This is the rewriting, not the dismissal of the boy. You are not telling him he was wrong to brace. He was not wrong. He was a small genius who survived a house no child should have had to map. You are simply telling him the contract has expired. And every time you sit in the heat without reaching for the wheel, you are writing the new contract, the sovereign contract. Say it now. Not from the mind, from the chest, from the lower back that is finally being held by the bed, from the diaphragm that has just loosened a 1/4 inch. I am safe enough to remain present. Not because the future is guaranteed, not because every storm has passed, not because the world has signed a treaty with my nervous system. I am safe enough to remain present. Right now, in this bed, in this body, in this breath. The wheel is on the floor. The catastrophe has not arrived. The earth is holding me. I am safe enough to remain present. And as you say it, not as a slogan, but as a small fact, your body is finally beginning to register the small scrutinizer in the corner of your chest will pause. He will not leave his post. Not yet. That comes later. But he will pause. He will turn his head. He will look for the first time in his long life at the man who is finally telling him, "You do not have to do this alone anymore." And in that pause, something new begins, a different kind of safety. Not the safety of prediction, not the safety of control, not the safety of always knowing what the next storm will look like. The safety of presence. The only safety that has ever been real. The safety of a man who has finally come home to the body that has been waiting for him since long before he had the words to know it was waiting. So let the heat settle now. You have done the harder thing. or you have seen for the first time what the harder thing will be. Either way, something in you has shifted tonight. Let your breath find its own pace. Slower now, deeper than it was when we began. Feel the weight of your body against the bed. The simple gravity of being here, held by the earth. At rest, the wheel is on the floor. Let it stay there for a little while longer. The dish has stopped spinning. The sky is empty, and nothing terrible is happening in this room. Notice that nothing terrible is happening in this room. There is no storm at the door. There is no slammed key in the lock. There is no footstep in the hallway pausing too long. There is only the bed, the room, the breath, the grown man who finally let the radar power down for a few minutes and is still alive. Stay with that. Stay with the small, almost embarrassing fact that the catastrophe did not arrive in the silence, that the boy was wrong about the cost of stillness, and the small scrutinizer who has been on watch for 30 years has heard you tonight. He felt you put the wheel down. He felt you let the bed hold you. He felt the long, soft exhale that did not require him to brace. And he is tired. So tired. Tired the way only a small analyst who has been on duty for 3 decades can be tired. He has set the binoculars down. He is sitting against the wall of his post, knees drawn up, eyes finally allowed to lose their focus. He is not gone. He cannot be gone. He saved your life once. You do not banish the one who saved your life. You honor him. You sit with him. You tell him the war is over. And tonight, for the first time, he begins to believe you. The boy in the cellar is asleep. And here is what you need to understand. Before this night folds into sleep, what we entered tonight was only one room. The insecure self. One chamber of the castle. One counterfeit kingdom in a much larger house. And the castle is bigger than this room. Far bigger, because behind other doors, other selves are still waiting. Behind one door, the passive self, the one who abandoned his throne to be liked, the one whose buried no is still leaking sideways into 1,000 small surrenders. Behind another, the codependent self, the one who disappears into other people, the one who became an unpaid medic for everyone else's storms. Behind another, the reckless self, the one with the starving engine, the one who burns down good things just to feel motion, and behind others still, the one who cannot trust his own knowing, the one exhausted by the mask he cannot remove, the one who calls his control holiness, 7 rooms, 7 selves, 7 thrones, each one waiting for the king to return. You can reclaim this one room tonight. You can put down the wheel for 3 minutes and find that the bed still holds you. You can sit in the heat without reaching for the phone. You can sign the sovereign contract with your own breath. But if the other rooms remain dark, if the other selves remain exiled, the small scrutinizer in your chest will not stay asleep for long. Because a counterfeit kingdom does not need every room to rule you. It only needs the one you refuse to enter. You can stop bracing in this body and still abandon your throne in your relationships. You can let go of the wheel in your career and still sabotage the very life you have built. The throne in one room means nothing, while the other rooms still belong to the exiles. This is why awareness was never enough. This is why understanding one night cannot rebuild a kingdom. The Matrix will gladly let you understand your bracing, so long as you never map the rest of the castle. It will gladly let you feel a moment of stillness tonight, so long as you wake tomorrow and forget there are 6 more doors. Do not forget. This is why I wrote Awaken Your Shadow, not as self-help, not as another book to understand and place on the shelf. I wrote it as the map of the entire castle, a descent through all 7 selves, a torch to carry into every darkened room, where a part of you was left waiting. Somatic shadow work, the methodology you have tasted tonight, is the tool you will find inside its pages. A practice for the body, not just the mind. A way of meeting each room as the man you actually are, not the role each room was conscripted into. It is not information. It is a mirror, and it is a weapon of reclamation. Not to wield against the world, but to cut the contracts off the selves you buried and call them one by one back to the throne, so when the light returns, when this night has passed and the noise of the world rises again, pick it up, read it slowly, not like information, like a mirror. Read it the way a man walks back through his own castle, opening doors he has kept locked for 30 years, torch held high, refusing to look away. But that is tomorrow. Tonight, you have done enough. Tonight, you put the wheel down for 3 minutes. Tonight, you let the bed hold you. Tonight, you let the witness show you the contract without flinching. And tonight, the small scrutinizer in your chest has finally been allowed to sit down. So let me speak a blessing over you now. A blessing for the uncrowned king who has carried the weight of an unpredictable house for 30 years longer than he should have had to. Listen to it with your body, not your mind. The body, that tired animal, that faithful beast is dismissed. The jaw unclenches, the hand opens, the wheel drops, and all the bracing that tried to become eternal finds the one door it cannot follow you through. Blessed is the body that breaks its armor. Blessed is the wheel that falls. Blessed is the hand that finally opens after decades of gripping what it was never meant to grip alone. Blessed is the diaphragm that loosens. Blessed is the lower back that lets the bed hold it. Blessed is the eye that finally closes without scanning. Blessed is the boy who has finally been believed. Blessed is the small scrutinizer whose post is finally relieved. Blessed is the man who refuses tonight to predict one more imaginary storm. Blessed is the final gate where the soul walks on, unburdened by the names it was never meant to wear forever. The strategist, the watcher, the responsible one, the man who never lets go of the wheel. You can set those names down now. You are not required to predict the future in order to deserve the night. You are not required to fortify against every possible storm in order to be allowed to sleep. You are not required to keep the dish turning in order to earn the right to rest. Let the hand stay open. Let the wheel stay where it has fallen. Let the diaphragm stay loose. Let the breath go slow. The boy is asleep. The scrutinizer is off duty. The king has come home to his own bed. And the world does not fear your competence. It fears the moment your safety stops depending on it. Tonight, the sentry came down from the tower. In a moment, the next episode will begin playing automatically. Stop destroying your progress. Somatic shadow work for the adventurous self, the fire that keeps burning down its own kingdom. Stay and let it play. And remember, one night quiets the scanner. Safety that lives in your bones is a practice. In Awaken Your Shadow, I name the devil who sold you fear dressed as caution, and I give you the breath, the scripts, and the sound that retune your body to true ground. The audiobook is linked below this video. Click that link now to begin your journey, or continue listening for the next video in this series.